Welcome back to the Division 2. I want to start this video by asking you a question. Did you really think the developers would get it right with the keys they were going to hand out for this apparel event? I've seen a couple of YouTubers and they're actually calling out the devs, so it's a good thing. It's a start, especially for one of them that I've seen, to actually call out when something is wrong with this game. But to be completely honest, they've chosen the completely wrong subject to talk about when talking about things wrong. This one I'm going to say for a certain reason I'll get into a little bit later in the video. This one is quite bad. But there are so many other things that benefit the player that all these content creators don't actually talk about. I don't know their reasoning behind it, whether they don't want the developers to hear bad words and, oh, we don't want to criticise the devs might sponsor us, and all this sort of stuff that would possibly go through a content creator's mind. I don't think about sponsorships. I take them if they come along. If I'm interested in something, I'll ask about it, because if you don't ask, you don't get. But not only that, if a company is interested in the things I do for a job, then come contact me. It's as simple as that. I'm never going to bow down to a company. I'm never going to basically quote-unquote simp. I'm never going to do all that sort of stuff looking for a sponsorship. That's not what I'm about. But these keys have been badly messed up by the developers. They sat there and again, they lied to us. They keep going really silent with their State of the Game streams. They're not doing them weekly, and people can say, oh yeah, but they might not have anything to talk about. Well, tell us in a different sort of manner what you told us the week before, so that if anyone that wants to know about this stuff wasn't there the week before, they might, basically they get a second chance to find out about this stuff. So even if it's a recap on the week before, a reminder of what's upcoming, then they still could have done a stream. But this is the second time they've not done a stream for a week. So basically, 2 weeks ago from me recording this, 3 weeks ago there was one, 2 weeks ago there wasn't, last week there was, now there isn't again, and apparently their next stream is coming back next Wednesday, which is going to be a day after the title update 11.1 drops. So those players looking for information about title update 11, if you need to know about it, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to talk about it again. I did do a State of the Game recap, which is on the channel, and basically there are a couple of good changes coming, but some of you are probably still not going to have a clue about it because they just keep being radio silent about what's upcoming, and there's a lot of rubbish going on within this development company, and the keys are no different. But for someone that's always been positive and always tried staying on the side of the developers, not that there really is a side, but we'll just use that as an example. So those creators that are trying to stay with the devs and basically stay in their pockets or get into their pockets, they've basically turned around and said, it's a lie, it's not fair what they're doing. But they haven't put any context and thoughts and stuff behind it as to why this is happening. But basically, to put context, and so this video doesn't last forever, because as I say all the time, I could sit here and talk forever. They were supposed to, because there was problems with this apparel event. Surprise, surprise, more problems in the game. There were problems when this apparel event first released, and people weren't actually receiving their keys. Each key is awarded for the apparel event every 4 levels, so that's every 2.8 million XP, and players weren't receiving the keys. It lasted for about 2 or 3 days. They fixed it, keys started being awarded again, and they said they will retroactively give players their keys back. I know players that can get through an entire 100 levels, or something crazy, the stupid amount of levels. I'll use Lewis as an example. He did 96 tiers of either this season or the season before. He did 96 tiers of the season in a single day. If you work it out, there are 29 crates or apparel caches that you can open, each one taking 4 levels. So you times 29 by 4, you get 116. That is how many levels you need to obtain every single key. 116 levels, if you're playing the right content in the game, can easily be obtained in 2 to 3 days. So there are players out there that have potentially lost up to the full 29 keys. And instead of the developers sticking to their word and retroactively rewarding players their keys, they decided, screw it. We're going to give every single player on this game that played between October the 6th and the 8th, we're going to give them 3 keys. That's all they did for every single player. I don't remember playing between those dates, I was busy that week. Con and Pete did, they were granted 3 keys. I didn't get the keys. Whatever for me. But it's just the fact that players are not receiving the full amount of keys they missed out on. There's only one reason the developers are doing that. They'll never admit to it. Of course they're not going to. But that is because in 1 week, roughly 4 days or something from now, the event will end. You will no longer be able to obtain keys. But what they always do is for a week after that event period, they always allow you to purchase keys with premium credits. So there's actually 2 reasons behind them not granting retroactive keys. Keys that you should have earned. One being because it's easier to just go, here you go everyone, here's 3 keys. It's easy for them to do that. They don't need to look through accounts and check the data and see how long people were playing and stuff and grant them their keys properly. It's easier for them to just chuck 3 keys at everyone. Even if you didn't actually play, if you just logged on to the game, you didn't miss any keys for those days, you still got 3 keys. But for those players that had legitimately earned more than 3, no, they just got 3, because that's all the developers wanted to do. After telling us on a State of the Game stream, you will retroactively be awarded your keys. So the first reason was to make it easy, and then the second one is obviously a sly sort of attempt at a cash grab, because they want players to be struggling to get the rest of their keys. So once the obtainable key part of the apparel event is over, it lasts for 3 weeks, that period, you get a 1 week cooldown period where you can still get keys, but only if you purchase them. So again, what they did with the bans and the rollbacks. They rolled back players' accounts so that they lost levels on their season, so that when they implemented it for players to purchase tiers at the end of that season, players had more tiers to go through because they were rolled back and lost all of their season progress. There are some very, very sneaky sort of systems these developers work on, and they're always trying to take the most from the player. And what do we get in return? Fucking mugged off. Every single time they do anything with this game, it's just on a negative front. I sit there, I do my live streams, I have a laugh with the chat. We have fun on the game, but that's because we don't see the serious side of it. And then when I sit down, I've got the time to do my own stuff. I just see all the problems arise in the game again, because there are bloody loads of them. And I'm sorry to all the fanboys and the people that don't want all the negative shit on the channel. You're tough. I'm sorry, but that's how it is. I'm not going to sit there and let the developers continue to do this without putting my opinions across and telling you what I think about this game and how I feel about it, because at the end of the day, I'd rather be honest with you guys and tell you whether I think it's a rip-off or anything like that than just let you sit there and waste money. At the end of the day, yes, it's your choice to do whatever the fuck you want. It has nothing to do with me. But if I can put words of advice out there to try and help you, not even point you in the right direction sort of thing, just basically tell you that I think, in my opinion, this is a bad idea, then hopefully it can help some of you guys out. But on that note, I did say I can talk forever. It's kind of gone on for a few minutes longer than I wanted it to, but that's my opinions. I really think they should have done a better job with this, and it's kind of sad that the keys went this way, because it just goes to show that there's a lack of effort in absolutely everything, even when it is keys for an apparel event. So what does that say for title update 11.1? We haven't heard, the last thing we would have heard about it from the devs would be 2 weeks before it's released. And I don't think we're going to hear anything else. So we're going to have to test it. I will be streaming on that day. I told people in a stream recently, I'm doing Legendary, all 9 directives. I'm going to see if I can get from floor 1 to 100. Might be a couple of streams over the course of a couple of days or something, but we'll see if we can get it done. And on that note, I'm going to leave the video there and let you guys go back to whatever you're doing. Apologies for the length of the video, but it might come across as rambling to some people, but I feel at the time of me recording it, it's kind of important for me to add this stuff in. But let me know your thoughts and stuff about it in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.